Welcome to the start of week 8 of my 100-mile training for the Javelina 100-mile race in Scottsdale, Arizona. I start off with the same spiel each week. This is my journey. I DNF'd last year's 100-mile attempt, and I'm documenting this whole journey in hopes that if anyone else is on the same journey and they just DNF'd, did not finish a race, it's okay because we got this. And second time or third time is a charm. There's a famous runner on social media. His name is Andy Glaze, and he's held over a 300-week streak of 100 miles every day, and he has DNF'd many races. So 1 or 2 DNFs does not define you. A little uphill walking, like last weekend. If you can't find an empty road that doesn't have cars on it, you can try and find a dead-end street and just try 10 meters, 20 meters, 100 meters, or a track walk on the outside lane. But try it. It strengthens your quad muscles and your knees, especially the patellar tendon right underneath the knee, which brings blood to that area. No matter how many times I go up to this mountain, I never get tired of these views. I never get tired of looking at that lake. I wonder if it's because I'm a Pisces and I'm a water sign, but being near the water just lifts my spirits. And I'm sure it does for everybody else too. There's something about the fluidity of water and its free spirit and the cleansingness of it. Oh my gosh, it just makes me feel healed as soon as I'm near it. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that again? Oh my God, it's another water view, and I'm sorry, but actually I'm so not sorry. Enjoy the views. So I'll tell you a little bit of a background on me. I was born in a country called Bosnia-Herzegovina, and I came to Canada when I was 6. And as soon as I came to Canada, my little sister was born, and I was the official babysitter. And of course, my outside playtime was limited. And I think now as an adult, that's why I love going outside so much, because I feel like it's playtime, and there's nobody telling me how long I can stay outside and what I can do. You want to hear a funny story? So back there, I really had to go pee. So I checked both sides, make sure the road is clear, and it seemed to be clear. So I squat down, and I didn't realize I was next to like a stump, the edge of a stump, and have a look. I must have jammed a little point in there so hard that it went through some pretty thick skin. And not only that, but my fucking Diva cup popped out. Not for the faint of heart. Have a great day. Hello, Monday. You know what? I've realized Monday comes whether or not you like it or not. It's just here. Like every 7 days, Monday shows up. So what are you going to do? You can't change that, so you might as well get used to it and just do one small thing. Every Monday, one small thing. Well, this is going to be fun. A little bit of snow can't hurt any. Blah, blah. A little bit of snow won't hurt anyone. All right, let's go. We have no choice. Might as well warm up and get this show on the road, because what choice do we have? Actually, we do have a lot of choice, but I've limited my choices. That is how I get through this. Almost 8 years ago, I decided to limit those choices, and I decided that 5 kilometers a day is my choice. I have no other choice. That is my choice, and it's 5 kilometers a day, or 5 kilometers a day, or actually it's 3 miles a day. So 5 kilometers a day or 3 miles a day, those are my two choices, and that is the choice I made January 1st, 2019. And look, the sun decided to come out and kiss us on our cheeks. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? And what a way to end this beautiful Tuesday. Not sure if you remembered, but we decided that Tuesdays was going to be arm days and Thursdays was going to be leg days. So at the end of our run, Jean was so happy that we were doing push-ups again. And the last time we did push-ups, my arms hurt, which means actually that's a good sign. It just means that we need to do these push-ups. So we did them and they were great. They were just some great push-ups. And, you know, I'd rather do the push-ups than not do the push-ups. Oh, right, I gave myself a choice. The choice was do the push-ups. After each run, we do try and do about 5 minutes of stretching because we both have day jobs that involve a desk. So after each run, we really do try and stretch for about 5 to 10 minutes. And would you look at that? It's a scale in my room. It's actually the Hume Body Pod. I did work with them a couple of years ago, and I like this scale. So there you go. There's 250 right there shining before your eyes. I am 250 pounds, always proudly. And look who decided to show up. It is Wednesday morning. We're going to get those sneakers on. We're doing some extra camera work here and just trying to throw a little bit of drama into the video. I'm walking to my treadmill across my basement living room floor and opening up the garage and heading to look at her. She's so beautiful. My gorgeous 18-year-old Nautilus treadmill that I found on Marketplace for $400. So this was Wednesday. I decided to give myself a break because of my lovely period, and walked. Did a great walk, a recovery walk, and it was good. It always feels good, and movement feels good. So my desk job, you know, I don't really walk during the day very much. Haha, just kidding. Well, it was actually a short week here in Canada, and we had a stat holiday on Monday. It was actually called Family Day. So although this was a short week, Thursday finally arrived, and it was very cold. It was about minus 10 Celsius, and we definitely took our warm-up more seriously this morning because we did not want to injure ourselves. We did about a 3.8-mile run, and of course, on the same trail that we normally go to. It's called Mission Creek Park, and it's a beautiful trail. We see the creek. It's frozen, and we're surrounded by nature. So we did warm up, and we are about to start our run, but never without leg swings first. They just get the blood flow going really well and warm your body up quite fast. We did some speed work during this session. So what we did was we do a 2-minute run, 1-minute walk, usually during our runs. So the first minute of that 2-minute running session was very fast. Then we slowed it down to a 13-minute mile, and then we did our 1-minute walk. It was awesome. Jean and I are really trying to be cognizant of strength training at least once a week. If not, we're going to try and maybe do it twice, but definitely once a week, and that has been decided as Thursdays. And here we were doing some single leg work this time. We decided against walking lunges because it was so cold, and we figured we want to stay injury free. So single leg work is so important in running because you are hopping from one leg to the other while you run, and sometimes your body will figure out which leg is weaker and then compensate on the other side. And that's where injuries happen. So even if you hold your hand out to try and correct your balance, everybody should be able to do a little bit of single leg work. And definitely start with no weights. If you are venturing into trying to do some strength work, first try with no weights. And it's basically like, lubing your car up and starting your engine without going anywhere. I guess that's kind of how I would describe it. If you do the motion with no weights, you're warming up your body psychologically and telling it this is what we're doing. And then when you add the weights, it does get a little bit easier because you've already gone through the motion of the exercise. Nothing makes me happier in the middle of my workday than to go out to Tim's and get a large peppermint tea with 1 cream and 1 honey. This makes my day, even when it's minus 10 Celsius. How many of you knew I publish a magazine? Yes, I decided in 2022 that I was sick and tired of not seeing women that had my type of body and runners that had my type of body. So I decided to publish my own magazine, and I had some orders to fulfill. So thank you so much for those of you that have ordered. I ship out typically to the United States, across Canada, and then I even have some really cool orders from the UK and Australia. So thank you so much. It's a privilege and a pleasure to send out these orders and to put a little personal note in them. Well, the old trusty wall calendar had to be updated, so I used a magic eraser, what do you know, to erase October, November, and December, or was it December, November, December, and January months, and I needed to add February, March, and April to the wall so that I could input my runs in there, which I did. Oh Lord, we made it to Friday. Thank you so much. We did make it to Friday, and I took another recovery walk because I was going to do a long run on Saturday. Happy Friday. Yay. We're almost at the end of week 8. I can't believe it. Tomorrow's Saturday. It's the end of a training week and also a long run day. And it's very cold. It's about 0 Celsius in my garage. Because it's probably minus 12 outside. So we'll see what we're going to do tomorrow. It might be a treadmill day because when it's cold, my legs don't function as well. So like I am, what is it? I am about 7 months away from Javelina 100-mile race. So I have lots of time and I'm just building my base. And avoiding injury is the key. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. By now, you know, like 8 times by now, this is week 8, and we know what favorite day of the week this is. It's Long Coffee Saturday. I hope you had a long coffee Saturday. We're going to perform CPR today and add lubricant to the treadmill. I was going to do 6 miles yesterday, and I did not. I only did 3.8, and I was going to do walking, and I was going to do 13 miles today. I'm not going to. I'm going to do 10 because it's a deload week. So actually that makes sense because there are some run coaches who recommend a deload week every 6 weeks. And also it was my period week. I should just draw. I don't know. Does that look like what you think it is? What I think it is? To mark this whole week. It's great to be 50 and perimenopausal. Here's how my scar is healing nicely. A little bit of dry skin for you. There you go, close up. Yep. I could tell you a little story here as I'm getting ready to warm up to go run on the treadmill. The way the story goes is that if you had asked the 8 years ago version of me if she would be this disciplined, she would have laughed in your face. And the other thing that the 8 years ago version of me thought was that disciplined people were born. There was something so special about them. And that people with willpower were also born. I was convinced that I just was not born with these characteristics because I was told that I don't have these characteristics as a young child, as a young girl who couldn't seem to stick to a diet. But let me just tell you that 8 years later, as somebody who has stuck to a daily 5K, no matter if I had the flu, if I was sick, I had Achilles tendonitis, I stuck to that freaking daily 5K, and it has been so worth it, and it has changed my nervous system. Let's get the treadmill lubed up, people. I just bought special treadmill lube from Amazon. Yes, I'm sorry, but that was the only place that sells it, and it comes with this little, I guess, what would you call that? Hose. It comes with a little hose. And it makes it so much more easier to put it under the belt. That scream announced that I spilt some of the treadmill oil on top of the belt, which made a bit of a mess, but actually it was easy to clean up, so I just used this rag and I wiped the top of the belt, and it was very easy and didn't not affect the belt later on in my run. But at the time of that scream, which sounded like a bird, maybe, I thought it was the end of the world. Here we go. All in a day's work, people. All in a day's work. Let's go. 3 miles, 37 minutes and 18 seconds. Let's go. 6 miles, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Heart rate low. Taking it easy. Enjoying the ride. Let's go. 8 miles, 1 hour, 40 minutes, pace 12:33. Let's go. Mile 10, last mile pace was 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Overall time, 2 hours, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. What's crazy is I was gonna talk myself out of doing the last 5 miles. I said, oh, why don't I take a deload week and just do half? But I did it. I did 10 miles. And I'm so proud of myself. And it feels really good. I still did less miles than last week. And I do attribute that to a deload week. Also, period week. But since this is week 8 of my journey since I started on January 1st, 2019, having a deload week, 6 to 7 weeks after you've been training full speed ahead is great. It's a great way for your body to recalibrate and just kind of stop the ball and move on from here. So let's get it, people. Listen, it's your running journey or your exercise journey, whatever journey you're on. And there shouldn't be anything in your journey that makes you feel guilty for any choices you make. Like, there's a small part of me that was like, why'd you take a deload week? Why did you do less than 41 miles this week? But that's that little voice that tries to creep back in. It's that nervous system that tries to rein a hold of you and reel you back in when it thinks you're flying too free. And even today when I was starting and I was getting to 3 miles and I was like, oh, I could just do 5 miles, like take a full deload week, just cut it in half. Don't do 10, do 5 and call it a day. But this is where consistency wins. This is where consistency wins, no matter how consistent you are with anything you do, whether it's a 1 kilometer walk and you're super consistent with that, no matter if you're sick, if it's snowing, if it's raining or whatever, you're going to get that 1 kilometer walk in and something unhinged happens and that nervous system tries to reel you back in. But you're like, no, I'm doing that 1 kilometer walk no matter what. If I'm not in my grave, I'm doing that walk. That's the power of consistency. But also, when you're in that journey, like I've been on my 5 kilometer daily journey, today was day 2,605 for me. I know the signs of my nervous system trying to reel me back in. I know those signs so well. And those signs sound like my inner voice talking me down off of the thing I'm about to do, talking me down from the 10-mile run and saying 5 is okay. I know those signs. And what used to take me 3 hours to talk me off that ledge now takes maybe 2 minutes. But that's the power of consistency and showing up for yourself and trusting yourself. This whole journey that I've been on with doing 5 kilometers every day, that's been my minimum since January 1st, 2019, has been all about regaining self-trust and rebuilding self-worth. I don't know if you've caught on to that with my previous videos, that the only thing that keeps me going is the consistency, because now I trust myself when I make a plan, whereas before I didn't. And I would give up on myself. And that's why I chose a daily 5K, because there's no work around that. There's no bullshitting around that. the 5K has to happen. So I couldn't talk myself out of it. And the first year was the hardest. And I'll make a video about this one day. But the real change, when I knew I had completely changed, came in year 4. So imagine 4 years of hard work, of constantly pecking at something and saying yes to yourself. And now I'm in year 8. Year 8 of not missing a day. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed week 8. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you in week 9. If you want to support me in any way, I have my magazines that I publish because I didn't see anybody that looked like me in a magazine. So I decided to publish my own magazine, and it's called Run Your Life. And there's 5 issues, and issue 6 is coming out at the end of this month. It's almost done. So you can support me that way. I also have a newsletter that I write every weekend. I change the topic on it every weekend, and you can subscribe to the newsletter. The link is down in the description. There's no show notes. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the videos. I hope you get something out of them, and I'll see you in week 9. This is just a little bonus at the end of the video to show you what is my number 1 exercise that I attribute to no Achilles pain. And this is the seated weighted calf raise that strengthens your soleus muscle that I had demonstrated to me by a PT physiotherapist in Australia who was a running physiotherapist. So this is the number 1 thing that I use now that prevents Achilles tendonitis creeping back in. Your soleus muscle, which is right behind the calf muscle, which is like where the calf area is weak if you feel tightness there. It doesn't need to be stretched. It is weak. So do these. I'm actually demonstrating this one with 70 pounds on top of my knee. I'm just using my hands to rest the weights so they don't fly off and break my toes. But seated weighted calf raises, look them up on YouTube. I'm sure somebody else has shown them and demonstrated how it's done properly, but I've been doing these for 2 years now. Hope this helps. My favorite post-run meal, 2 fried eggs with 2 pieces of brown toast or Ezekiel bread, and then like a Greek salad. It was so good. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.